Today I want to talk to you about personal fulfillment through self-expression. And the reason that I'm really focusing on self-expression in my work is because one of the main reasons for psychological dis-ease, that means when something is just not right, when we are not actively moving about this world in a purposeful way, in a way that we are moving towards our goals, moving towards the things that make us happy, and moving towards the ways that are healthy to express ourselves. One of the reasons for this psychological dis-ease is a person's inability at any given time to adequately exist and express themselves as they are. What gets in the way of that expression is the idea somehow that we are not who we should be. We should be more happy, we should be more healthy, we should be more, better, something else than who we are right now. The disease or the dis-ease comes from having that idea and then trying to live as that idea instead of who we are. Now, there are a lot of reasons why we don't feel safe to express ourselves as we are. Anywhere from just general discomfort in expressing oneself in a social situation, all the way to trauma where it is unsafe to express ourselves. So that whole spectrum of reasons why we're not expressing ourselves still needs to be addressed to whatever extent. And so that's why some therapies are really helpful and effective, is because they set up a safe container, a safe space that the client can come and enter into, where they can actually express themselves, show up, and not be shamed, not be rushed, not be rejected, but just accepted as they are right now at this point. So when you extrapolate the therapy room into your own life, into your waking, walking life, somehow we've got to get to a point, if we're going to express ourselves effectively and become fulfilled through that expression, we've got to also feel safe. There has to be some kind of container, some safe container or safe vessel that we carry around with us so that we can express ourselves and get to that place of fulfillment. So feeling a sense of fulfillment is definitely a higher order need. After you get your needs for food, shelter, personal connection, the higher order needs start to kick in, and one of the highest ones is living with a sense of fulfillment. So many things have to be put in place, many things have to be accomplished, many life skills and life goals and developmental tasks have to be checked off before we get to that sense where I am looking for a state of fulfillment. I remember in my late teens, early 20s, I was striving for this thing, and it was more of an idea rather than a need. And I searched for it through meditation, spirituality. As a lot of you know, I have a long meditation history and practice, and I was using meditation as a way to seek fulfillment through basically the annihilation of the separate sense of self, the separate ego, the separate sense of individuality. And ultimately, my experiment found that that didn't work for me. It was a great exercise, lots of beautiful experiences, lots of transcendental experiences, but ultimately my individuality, the notion that I exist and I'm here for some reason, that kept shining through there. And the belief in me, my personal belief that we are here expressed as we are, as this, only once, and there's some importance to that, it kept coming through. And that's why I'm on this journey right now, to try and share that with other people who might feel the same way. So even if you believe in past lives and future lives, we still have to deal with the idea of, what is this life about? What's this one for? Is this important? Is this valuable? And the answer always comes out to absolutely yes. This is not a mistake, and expressing this particular life, regardless of what your beliefs are, is vitally important. Living in this present moment, this is what we have. And so the idea that expressing this life fully as a further expression of what we were originally expressed as a way to become more fulfilled, is the key to what the genius way is. I believe that we're given a gift of this sense of individuality, And that gift is actually a sacred thing from the universe or creator. This sacredness means we have a responsibility to nurture this thing, to acknowledge it, to grow it, to let it expand into what further expression it wants to become. And so fulfillment has to be understood as something different than satisfaction. We can be satisfied with a lot of things, and in my life I've been satisfied with, being a meditator, being a teacher, being a therapist, but there's more than just those things and those accomplishments that point to fulfillment rather than just being satisfied. Satisfied means, yeah, it's okay. Fulfillment means I am in what I feel I am here to do. I'm living in that sense where I am feeling like I am stepping into what my life is here for. And they're completely different feelings. Mostly satisfaction comes from accomplishments, while fulfillment comes from stepping into your individuality and your expression as a sovereign individual entity. So how do we reach a sense of fulfillment through self-expression? One of the first things to know is that you are on your genius way. You're on your path. Wherever you are on it, you're allowed to be there. You're expected to be there. You're not supposed to have arrived yet. We need to be able to see ourselves just as we are just right now. And so we have to give ourselves permission. We have to know that it's going to be clumsy, it's going to be embarrassing maybe, it's going to be whatever it is, and it doesn't matter, because when we're on our way somewhere, and this somewhere is fulfillment. And fulfillment is linked to being myself as I was expressed by the universe. When we're on our way somewhere, we're not expected to be there yet. It's okay that we're not there. We have to give ourselves that permission. That's very, very important. And along the way, this is keeping that safe container with us, giving ourselves permission not to be done, not to be perfect, not to be fulfilled yet. This allows us to fall into a state of ease about our life rather than being in a state of dis-ease, which is dis-ease, which means I'm not okay with where I am. It's hard to be okay when your life isn't where you want it to be. I understand that. But nonetheless, we have to develop those skills. We got to be okay for the time being to be able to express ourselves just as we are in order to begin to understand the other ways that we want to express ourselves. And so the fulfillment part comes in after we've given ourselves permission to be just as we are, and then we see, how am I not being authentic to myself? How am I not being a further expression of what I was first expressed as by creation? That is the path, that is the genius way, that is the path of fulfillment that self-expression can take you on. So ultimately, when we're able to accept ourselves as we are, we're able to see the preconceived ideas that we borrowed from other places that are superimposed on the sense of identity that we were given by creation. And so as we give ourselves permission to untie some of those knots, we're able to get closer and closer and closer to see, what was I originally expressed as, what qualities does that expression have, and how can I start expressing those qualities more clearly. A sense of fulfillment will follow. That is how this kind of process works. If you're interested in learning more about how to find your own genius qualities and how to live a purposeful and meaningful life, hit the subscribe button and check out thegeniusway.com for tools, tips, and encouragement.